Wow, I'm slowly turning into my dad. Jeez, look at that stupid mustache. Okay, today we're going to talk about this 2022 Ford Maverick. It was purchased late last year after one of my children wrecked the vehicle he was driving. What he wrecked was an old Toyota pickup truck, which needed to be replaced with a pickup truck. You know, used car prices are through the roof. New car prices are through the roof when the vehicles are available, and I'm not the kind of guy who would ever overpay for a vehicle. I will say that as a libertarian, I don't care what deal people make between consenting adults. If you and your car dealership come to the conclusion that you should pay $40,000 over MSRP, that's between you and the dealer. Me, I would never do that. This is a 4-cylinder turbocharged automatic transmission all-wheel drive, has the towing package and a couple other things, but it's the XL version. It's not all tricked out. It's got steel wheels, and it's a nice little truck. Probably some point in the future there'll be a review, and maybe the things I love, the things I hate. Maybe I'll interview the kid who normally drives this, since he has a lot more experience in the vehicle. Right now, I don't even know how many miles are on this thing. Almost 3,400 miles on it. When these things first came out, you couldn't find them anywhere, and the closest Ford dealership to where I live is a place called Nielsen Ford. They didn't have any. They didn't know when they were going to get any, and I told my son, because he was getting antsy, him and my wife both, because he didn't have anything to drive, and it was creating havoc at the house. And so I'm like, find a Ford dealer somewhere that's got some of these. We'll go drive one to make sure it's going to work for us, and we'll take it from there. And what happened, he found one of them. Supposedly they had 3. They only actually had 1 on the lot at a place called the Route 23 Auto Mall in Butler. And we went down there, and this is at a time when no car dealership anywhere had anything on the lot. As we rolled up to this car dealership, they had more cars than even normal, right? They were loaded up. And when I got out of the car, I asked the salesman, how'd you get all these cars? And they were paying Ford cash for the cars, right? They weren't on the normal consignment type setup that car dealers have, where they're basically paying a little bit every month to have the cars there until they're sold. They were paying cash up front to Ford to be first in line, and they were flush with cars. It was crazy. So we took this Ford Maverick, not this one, for a ride, and we're like, yeah, this is going to work for us. So as my wife and I were talking with my son about what we were going to do, my wife said, hey, they're getting $15,000 over per van over MSRP, and they were getting $10,000 over for any of the full-size trucks, if you wanted an F-150 or whatever, which is outrageous, right? So when the salesman came out to talk to us about the Maverick, I'm like, hey, this thing's $25,000. What are you selling it for? And they wanted $4,000 over. So I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. And then my wife and my son were completely upset, because they're like, what are we going to do if we can't find another one? What are we going to do if things don't improve? What are we going to do if we can't find a used car? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They're all freaked out. And I'm like, I'll just ride the motorcycle. I'll put studded snow tires on the KLR and just ride it all winter. I don't care. I'm not overpaying for something. The kid could drive my commuter car. And that sounds extreme, but I've been known to do extreme stuff like that in order to save $1. And we all piled in my F-150, and I started calling around. I called Family Ford over in Netcong. I called Nielsen Ford. I'm like, first question, you guys overcharging for vehicles? And some of them said no, some of them said yes. None of them had any Mavericks either on the lot or showing up anytime soon. I finally called Leo Katy's Ford in Warwick, New York. Same question, you overcharging? No. Are you having any Mavericks on the lot now, or are you going to get any soon? And they're like, yeah, we have one coming in about 3 weeks. It's not spoken for. I'm like, I'll be right there. And we drove, over to Katy's Ford. did the deal. We got this truck. Sticker was $26 and basically paid sticker. I didn't pay any over. Of course, you can't talk them down because they're in short supply, and in all honesty, on a car that's this affordable, there's not really a lot of room to play with. So even under the best of times, like MSRP is not the end of the world. And yeah, we're very lucky to get this truck, and I would not overpay. And since then, I've seen vehicles out in California, like Ford Broncos that are like $40,000 over, F-150s that are like $50,000 over. I don't know who would pay that. That's inconceivable to me. Like, first off, what bank loans you money, loans you $110,000 for a $60,000 vehicle? What insurance company insures that for you, unless you have gap insurance or some other kind of thing where, you can, heaven forbid, have an accident in it and get your money back out of it. And even if nothing bad happens, in 3 years you want to get rid of it, and assuming things go back to normal, which I don't know that there's any evidence things are going to go back to normal, you're going to be upside down in the vehicle. You're screwed. And yeah, I don't know, but like, I just would never overpay. I think if you're overpaying for a vehicle or overpaying for generators after a hurricane, or overpaying for houses, because I live in northwestern New Jersey, and the amount of people that came out here to buy houses above market value during the start of the pandemic as people fled the cities is crazy. And now I just read an article in the newspaper, I'm going off on a tangent, where this county and a lot of northern counties in New Jersey are about to face major foreclosure issues because these people are all upside down in their houses, right? And yeah, just overpaying for stuff, never a good plan. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I personally obviously would not do it, and I don't think you should do it either. If you are thinking about buying something like that from a car dealership and paying way over sticker price for it, for just a normal vehicle, like this is a little mini pickup truck. This ain't a Ferrari or something, or a Corvette that just came out. I don't think it's right to do it then either. But the only thing you're doing when you agree to like give a dealer way more money than is necessary is you're just teaching the dog to shit on the carpet, and that's never going to work out in the end. Anyway, this is a nifty little truck. Like I said, there'll probably be more videos about it soon. And, you're going to get somebody's opinion who didn't get this truck from Ford, who's not a regular official car reviewer, just a normal, regular guy opinion. If you guys have any questions about this vehicle that you want answered, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for listening to this little rant. Okay, so I learned a couple things right there. Number one, this camera with the fold-out screen, not good for on the outside of the vehicle. The screen just closes right away. The only thing I want to say in conclusion to that little rant is that you guys should remember what car dealerships or whoever's gouging you in your community, remember who those people are. Don't go there again. And I would say, to top it all off, those guys over at Route 23 Auto Mall in Butler, they weren't even pleasant to talk to. I mean, I showed up in an F-150, late model, clean, wife and kid dressed up, not dirtbag hillbilly like me. And yeah, obviously, like, I buy Ford products, you'd think they'd be a little more cordial, but, whatever. Let's take a quick look at the outside of this vehicle before we go. Not a super fan of this color, but the kid who drives it seems to enjoy it and doesn't mind it at all, kind of likes it. Aftermarket bed liner that we put in after the fact. It's got the tow package, which I think gives it a little more torque or horsepower or something, and you get the 7-pin hook up there. Yeah, cute little truck. It's going to do what it needs to do. Yes, I own an F-150, but that's got a tonneau cover on it, and it's mainly used for towing my trailer. This is like just what you need for going to get salt from Home Depot for the water softener, and peat moss and whatever other kind of junk the wife needs for the garden. Kids throw bikes in the back. It's pretty great. like I said, there's probably going to be a review coming up. Maybe the 10 things I love and the 10 things I hate. But yeah, so thanks for watching that. Really appreciate it. Don't overpay for stuff. Makes no sense, especially in a world where the feds inflate money and print it like it's going out of style. Don't get behind the 8 ball. All right, see ya.